You could be brushing and flossing and keeping your teeth super clean, but there might be some habits that are absolutely destroying your teeth. And I'm not just talking about like opening a bottle with your tooth, because that's pretty obvious that that can crack your tooth. I mean, even something as small as ripping open a package or something when your hands are full can do a lot of damage to your teeth. And the reason is you're putting a lot of stress on these teeth, and it can lead to these microfractures, which are basically the start of these fractures in your teeth that you won't even see. A lot of times people break their tooth when they eat something soft, like a piece of bread or something like that. You might wonder, how can a piece of bread that's super soft break a tooth? Well, in reality, the tooth was broken well before that. When you get these microfractures or cracks in your teeth, it weakens them. And over time, the more stress and the more years you put on them, the easier they are to break. And that means something even soft can break a tooth. So you might think that your teeth are super young and healthy now, but think about 30, 40 years from now. You're still gonna wanna keep these teeth, and they're the only set of teeth that you have. So I know sometimes using your teeth as a tool to like hold an object or open something small might seem tempting, but please take the extra time to find that extra tool, or at least free up your hands so you do not have to use your teeth. Now, the second thing is chewing on hard objects. Now, I'm not just talking about food. I'm also talking about things you shouldn't be eating, like people who bite their pen, or people who bite their fingernails, or people who chew ice cubes. All of these things are damaging your teeth. At the same time, some foods or candies can be really hard too, like a Jawbreaker or a Jolly Rancher or something like that. Something that has that crystal structure that's like really hard to break. You don't want to be chewing those things either. Again, the more you bite into these hard objects or things you shouldn't be chewing, the more it can put these microfractures in your teeth, and the more it can wear down your teeth. I kind of think of it like a car. You're adding a ton of miles to your car for no reason. It's the same logic with your teeth. You're adding a ton of years to your teeth by simply chewing on these hard objects. The next thing I wanted to talk about was grinding or clenching your teeth. Some people have this awful habit when they're stressed out or when they're focused on something, that they will start clenching their teeth or start grinding their teeth together. Or some people might do this when they're sleeping and not even realize it. And sometimes your partner might be laying there listening and can actually hear you grinding your teeth away. This is a big problem, and a lot of times we don't even realize that we're doing it because we're so focused on what we're doing or we're sleeping. But this can lead to a lot of problems, not just with our teeth, but also with our jaw joint or our TMJ. So a lot of times you might wake up with jaw pain or headaches or ear pain. All of this is related to grinding and clenching your teeth. And on top of that, over the years of constantly wearing your teeth away, your teeth are going to get shorter and flatter, or your teeth might be more prone to cracking. And this is not just true for your front teeth, it's also true for your back teeth. So again, it's not like there's a cavity or any disease that's starting in your mouth. But again, it's just putting all this wear and tear on your teeth for no reason. So a simple solution if you do grind or clench your teeth would be to get a night guard made. A night guard is basically a plastic, kind of like a retainer. It's like a thicker piece. It just goes on your top or your bottom arch. And instead of actually grinding your teeth away, it'll deflect those forces. So that way, next time you grind or clench your teeth, it's gonna protect your teeth, and it'll also protect your jaw and prevent you from getting jaw pain or headaches or ear pain. Now, I know it's called a night guard, but I know plenty of people that also wear this during the daytime when they know that they're focused on something. For example, sometimes people put this in when they're driving, because they know when they're driving, they tend to clench and grind their teeth. So instead of damaging all their teeth, at least they're protecting them. And there's also a huge component to your sleep itself in relation to grinding your teeth. Now, I made a separate video kind of going more into detail about that, so if you want to look at that, it's in the description below. But sometimes teeth grinding stems from an actual sleep issue, like sleep apnea or some other sleep disorder. So it'd be worth, at the very least, getting a sleep study as well. Now, the next thing I want you to stop doing is to stop drinking something acidic throughout the day. For example, let's say you're drinking a diet soda. So there's no sugar in it, but if you're sipping on this throughout the day, you gotta keep in mind that that diet soda is very acidic. And our enamel in our teeth is very strong, but it is really prone to erosion or breaking down because of acids. So our enamel will demineralize at a pH of 5.5. Most of these acidic drinks, or in other words, drinks that are not water, are well below this pH threshold, meaning they are really prone to damaging and eroding our teeth. And it's not just a soda. Coffee and tea are also acidic. So pretty much, again, anything other than water is gonna be acidic. Now, if you combine this with a drink that actually has sugar in it, now it's gonna be like a double whammy for your teeth. Now, if you have one of these drinks once in a while, it's not a big deal. But if you're constantly sipping on one of these drinks throughout the day, then it can be a big problem because you're not giving your saliva time to build up and buffer out these acids. So typically, you should have an acidic drink with a meal. So let's say you're eating lunch, that's the time to drink your diet pop or something like that. Because after that meal, then your saliva will build up and it can wash away that food and also wash away that acidic drink. And also during that meal, since you're eating, the act of eating will stimulate saliva as well. But instead, if you're sipping on this throughout the day, then you're not giving your saliva time to build up. So even if you drink 1 can and sip on it throughout the day, that little bit of acid that you're sipping on will still do a lot of damage. Now, if you combine this with a drink that has sugar in it, now it's gonna be like a double whammy on your teeth and damage them even more. And the same holds true for food. So like any carbohydrates, so any starchy foods or anything like that, if you're constantly snacking on that throughout the day, it's gonna do the same thing. It's gonna introduce these carbohydrates, which can eventually lead to cavities in your teeth. It's better to have these starchy foods or these acidic foods all in one sitting. Now, the last tip I have is to avoid repetitive chewing on the same side. So a lot of times people have a specific side that they like to chew on. So some people like to chew on their left side, some people like to chew food on their right side. People tend to pick these favorite sides. Now, the problem is we can actually identify which side you like to chew on more because we'll see a lot more damage or wear on that side. So for example, our teeth have this anatomy where our molars have these cusps that stick out higher, and then we have these grooves that are lower towards the middle of the tooth. If someone chews a lot more on one side, those molars are gonna look a lot flatter, and the anatomy is gonna be gone compared to the side that they don't use. So a simple tip would be to practice chewing evenly on both sides whenever you're eating food. Now, if you cannot chew properly on one side because your teeth aren't aligned properly or something like that, that's a different story. In that case, I would even suggest trying to get an orthodontist or a dentist to look at it and see if you need braces or some sort of Invisalign or something so you can correct that bite. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and just remember, your teeth are not tools. So if there's something you think can break them, chances are you should probably not do it. Although your teeth are super strong, they are still vulnerable and they can still break. And I see it happen every day. But if you haven't already, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel below, and I will see you in the next video. Fruits are healthy, right? There's no way any fruit could ever do any harm to any part of my body. Well, some fruits could actually be damaging your enamel and making your teeth more likely to get cavities. So in this video, I'm gonna cover some of the worst fruits for your teeth and how you can more safely eat them. Now, when it comes to your oral health specifically,